it's Rachel from Ray K Books, and today I'm going to do a February wrap-up. So I'm going to tell you about all the books that I read in February. The first book I've read was Summer of Yesterday, which I don't have the book with me right now, so let's pretend that it's there. There it is. There it is. The Summer of Yesterday. And The Summer of Yesterday is pretty much about this girl who goes back in time and falls in love with somebody. I think in like the 1980s she goes back, and that's basically the plot. And she tries to move to the future where she's from. I didn't really get into it much, so I didn't finish it, but I did read the ending, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't read it because the ending was not good. I didn't like it. So I feel like if I read the whole book, I would have been extremely disappointed. So sadly, I got through, I think 100 pages, and I'm just like, I can't finish it. It was too boring for me. I just didn't connect with anybody, and so that was my first flop of the month. Second book was Cruel Beauty, and this is the book cover right here. Do you like it? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful cover. I did a review of Cruel Beauty, so please click my hand right here to go to that review. Long story short, I think that it was overhyped. I didn't really like it as much as other people. They were like raving about it, and I was just like, eh. Next book was Life by Committee. Here is the book cover. Oh, isn't it so gorgeous? Look at that, look at that. This is about a girl who kind of her life is spiraling down. She finds this website called Life by Committee, and what you do is you tell this committee what your problem is, and then they say, okay, well, I want you to do this. And so that person has to do what the task is, or else all the secrets that she shared would be broadcasted. I thought, again, this book was okay. It was weird. Like, here, let me give you an example of what She was angry at her ex-best friend because she deserted her, and so the committee said, okay, well, I want you to take your father's weed, plant it in her locker so she can get in trouble. I mean, like, what kind of person would say that? And at first she does these stupid tasks, like, okay, and what? She does learn her lesson that the committee is kind of evil in the end, and the ending is nice. I do like the ending, but I think what I don't like about it is that she's stupid enough to do what the committee wanted her to do. I don't know if it's out of fear or something, but she was being manipulated. In the end, it was a great plot, but poorly executed. I felt like I could have gotten more out of the book, but I didn't. I gave Life by Committee a 3 out of 5 stars. I thought that the main character was redeemable because she did learn her lesson. The next book I read was Night Broken by Patricia Briggs. If you click my hand right here, I did a review of this, and this is like one of my favorite books of Patricia Briggs. I mean, Mercy Thompson is the strongest character, like the most kick-ass character I've ever read in an adult book. Mercy Thompson gets herself in trouble again, and her mate Adam's ex-wife calls, and she starts living with Mercy, which is, you know, tension gets high. So that's the plot in a nutshell. But I loved this book, 5 out of 5. I cannot wait for her next one. Thank you again, Penguin, for giving me a copy. I read Ignite Me, and the first one, Shattering Me, was great. The second one, I didn't like at all. So I thought, you know what? Since I loved the first one, it could redeem itself. But it didn't to me. It didn't redeem itself. Everybody else gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I gave it less than 3 stars. And I don't review books that are less than 3 stars. And I'll tell you why later, because there's a reason why. But yeah, I didn't like it. I thought that it was too heavily into the love triangle. Tahereh obviously wanted us to immediately hate Adam, which I didn't like. I think that Adam could have been a more likable character. I didn't feel like things really happened in this book. Things were tied up very quickly. So I just didn't like the direction. And, you know, I'm probably the only one who is saying this. Like, every other person loves this book. Kind of like Cruel Beauty. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with me. But yeah, I have to say no to this book. I read Alienated. If you want to see a review, click my hand. This is about a girl who hosts an exchange student that's an alien. What? So, yeah, it was a really good book. I think I gave it a 4 to 5 stars. There was like something wrong with it. I kind of forgot. So if you're iffy about it, I say pick it up. I mean, I love the cover. I think this is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen on a book. So yeah, she was fun to talk to, and this was a great book. I recommend it for young adults. Now this next book, Forgotten Sins by Rebecca Zaniti, was one of the most awful books I have ever read in the romance genre. And I was going to do a review about it, but just like bitching it out. I like watching reviews and reading them where they're just like totally ranting about the book. I love it. And I wanted to, but I love her other books. This is one of her books. I loved, like, this is the only flop. Here's the reason why I don't review books under 3 stars. It's because I feel like if I do that, I close doors in the future. Example is I want to interview Rebecca Zaniti for one of the live chats. I haven't emailed her yet, but I feel like if I completely tear apart this book, she's gonna say no. Authors are touchy, and if I completely ruin a book, they're gonna say, well, screw you, I don't want anything to do with you, how dare you? So I don't want that. Let's just say that the main character of this book is so stupid. She's too stupid to live. See this guy on the cover, the main character? She marries him because he's hot. And there's no other reason. She just finds him attractive. She knows nothing about his life. He keeps secrets from her. And she doesn't care. She's like, oh, but he's so hot. And last but not least, I reread a series, a romance book series by Gina Showalter called Lord of the Underworld, because her new book, which I think is like the 10th of the series, is coming out. So I reread all of them. So here it is. The Lords of the Underworld. I actually reviewed the first book. Click here if you want to know more about the Lords of the Underworld. It's one of my favorite series of all time. So it's basically about these Greek warriors who opened Pandora's box that had a lot of demons in it, and Zeus was like, how dare you, warriors? And so all the demons were paired with the warriors, so then the warriors kind of like became it. Like an example is the Keeper of Lies. He can only lie instead of telling the truth. So if it's a beautiful day, he has to say, what an ugly day. That's basically it. The Darkest Whisper, he has the demon of doubt. The Darkest Passion, he has the demon of wrath. The Darkest Lie, obviously, he has the demon of lies. The Darkest Secret, and he has the demon of secrets. The Darkest Surrender, and he has the demon of defeat. The Darkest Seduction, he has a demon sex. Then the last one is actually the Angels of the Dark series, but the Lords of the Underworld also are there, and that is Wicked Knights. So that's it. 13 books, not 11, I miscounted. Whew, 13. Took a lot of work, but I loved every minute of it. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.